Let's get it. Let's go. Cheers, Fredo. Checking in. So today we have on the board, Draymond Green sucker punches Jordan Poole at the Warriors basketball practice. It's a crazy situation, but we're going to go over some things that we could learn from the situation, grow from it, and put ourselves in the best situation possible to where we don't got to worry about messing up our money. We don't got to worry about getting suspended from games. Or even if you're not at a professional level and you're just working on a good job or just an everyday business type of level, you still don't want to lose money. You still don't want to ruin business relationships and ruin relationships with your employees. You don't give you that good game, that good knowledge, and point you to a close relationship with the Most High to where you can avoid things like this from happening and keep things going and keep things growing. Let's get it. Let's go. When a person does not like you, they're not going to come for you with their fist when they're at that level. They're going to come for you with their mouth. So in this situation, all Draymond had to do was stay solid, do what he was supposed to do, and keep his composure overall, and we wouldn't have even had these type of problems. Since he kind of looked at it from an emotional point of view, and he didn't really know how to compose himself, it was a whole different type of situation. What do you think, bro?
Personally, I mean, when I heard about it, I mean, I was shocked, but I wasn't shocked. You know, when I found out it was Draymond, it's like, okay, he has a reputation. You know, he's a hothead. He be fouling people. He be blowing in people's faces. You know what I'm saying? But again, you know, it's not the first time. You know, it wasn't a game; it was at practice. But it's not the first time that two players have got into, you know, altercation like that. But I haven't physically seen the video. I've seen some clips and people telling me, but like I said, the amount of force that Draymond, you know what I'm saying, used to hit Jordan Poole, you know, definitely indicated that, you know what I'm saying, there was some tempers flaring. There was definitely some built up aggression or some issues between both of the players. So, a little unfortunate, you know, for Draymond, for Jordan Poole and the Warriors team, but, you know, hopefully they'll get that figured out.
At the end of the day, you got to remember, you're a professional for a reason. You come there to play basketball. You don't come there to hit people like Mike Tyson. You know what I'm saying? The way he leaned into that punch, you know it was a buildup of aggression, and you know it was only a matter of time before he exploded on somebody, whether it was something personal, family problems, or it had just been a natural rivalry between him and Poole. You always want to come at things from your mind. You don't want to come at things from a place of aggression. That's the quickest way for somebody to trick you out of your position, especially when you're playing the game at $1 million level. Draymond Green, his name is always in the headlines. His name is always up there with some of the best basketball players, whether it's just him winning championships and blending in with the team or him having those MVP, you know, star player type of years. You know, he gets in where he fits in, and he seems to always be on a winning team. So the fact that he's accomplished that, he's obviously doing something right. And, you know, it's always a balance. When people know you're good at one thing, they always look for your weaknesses. And with him, it just happens to be aggression, right? So you always want to play chess, not checkers. You don't want to ever give them an excuse to put you on the sidelines, to suspend you from practice, right? To fine you, right? Because he's playing in a position to where they're professionals. They're not going to come back and hit him with a sucker punch. They're going to hit him where it hurts, which is in that checkbook, right? So let's learn from situations like this as a Game for Dayz podcast family and keep going, keep growing, and doing what we need to do one step at a time. You don't ever want something to be so serious that it's messing with your money, that it's messing with how you take care of your family, right? It's messing with your opportunity to show up for practice. So the key is, you know, think with your head, not your heart. What you think, bro?
Exactly right. But, you know, when I heard the whole situation, you know what I'm saying, it was definitely unfortunate, you know. You guys, you know, at the end, please comment, tell us your perspective. But I mean, there's just so many, I guess, aspects, you know what I'm saying, to look at, you know what I'm saying?
Facts.
There's an aspect of, like I said, what caused it, you know what I'm saying, the situation? Was it something personal, you know, for Draymond? Was it something in between him and Jordan Poole? Did it have to do with the coaching staff? Another thing, you know, very important thing to focus is who leaked the tape?
Hey,
they're at practice. Who leaked the tape?
There's always that person. So always that one person.
You got to be careful about that when you're a celebrity. You know, whether it's music, whether it's rapping, or whether it's, you know, on a business or any type of thing where you're in the public eye. That, you know, people are always looking to have a story or some type of narrative, whether it be a lie, the truth, or somewhere in between.
That's facts.
You always got to be cautious of that. Then you have the aspect of, like I said, it was a physical altercation. So, you know, people forget sometimes as like celebrities and stars who are in the public eye, you are expected to respond or react in a certain way because you are that figure. But at the same time, they're human beings. And
That's
as
right.
human beings, we do have emotions. We do make mistakes. We do fall short. So, that was one of those moments where, like I said, Draymond's emotions obviously, got the best of him.
That's facts. And, situations like that, do you feel like it should be kept in-house so that it's not scaring away opportunities for them to have those 5-star athletes, right? It's not scaring away draft picks and, people wanting to really genuinely support the team, spend money, buy season tickets and things like that. And they want to be a part of something that's not making them look stupid, not making them look foolish. Right? Because we've never really seen this out of them as a whole, as a team, because all we've seen is, the Splash Brothers on good behavior, them winning championships, them doing everything that they could do to stay in the good light. So, what do you think about this just coming out of nowhere? Do you feel like because they've been good for so long that they should be, they deserve this one mess up, or they deserve to, F up one time, whether it's Draymond or whoever? Or do you feel like they should be held to the highest standard because of who they are?
With that, for me, I guess there's a little controversy there.
Yeah.
I say, one, it's like, this happened at practice. Mm-hmm. So it goes back to my point earlier. It's like, well, who leaked the tape and why? This is not the first time that, NBA players have gotten to, altercation. You know what I'm saying? There's been other basketball players, that have gotten to fights on the court.
That's facts.
But this situation definitely does put a lot of pressure on everyone involved. You know what I'm saying? Jordan Poole, Draymond, and the Warriors, team. When things escalate to a point of violence, especially at practice, now that's going to bring up some safety concerns. So I think it did definitely put a lot of pressures on the coaching staff or just the team to respond. From what I've heard, Draymond is not practicing with the team. He's not part of any games, which, like I said, again, if you guys comment and say how you feel about that, if you think he's going to, return back to practice, if he's going to get traded. But again, they had at some point, because they had to set some type of example to say that type of behavior was not okay, especially with them being the Warriors team. You got Steph Curry, you got Klay Thompson, you got a lot of these guys that people are really fans of and love, and they've always, produced that they have that great team chemistry. So to see something like this happen, like I said, obviously – there's some work that needs to be done on the team building side. You got Jordan Poole, he's coming in, he's trying to earn his spot. You got Draymond, he's been there, he's a vet for a while. So, forget about that. Guys are trying to earn their contracts, get their incentives, you know what I'm saying? Get to the bag, you know what I mean? As you said earlier. So, it's really important, like I said, when you're in that position to, like I said, he is human, we fall short, but to not get tricked out of your position, like you said,
That's facts.
There's a lot of money involved. I like Lil Baby. Sorry, I like Lil Wayne too. But,
you feel me?
But
hey, shout out to Lil Baby.
Lil Baby.
Feel me?
But one of the things, he said is, I don't beef no more. And what he means by that, and I took that to say, when you're at a certain level, you have a job to do. You go, you do your job, and then you go home.
That's what I call it, a professional.
Right. Everything else is just a distraction. It's just a setback. It's just things that, are intervening with, with the true purpose, like I said, like you said, they're there to play basketball. They're there to win games, and they're there to entertain the fans. So.
Yeah. And nothing less, and sometimes they put the coaches and the people that support them in such a weird position because they may genuinely love them. They may want them to show up every day to practice, right? They may want all these things, but because there's so much spotlight in it, and because somebody on the inside went out and exposed them when it was really supposed to be an in-house problem, right? Nobody's perfect, but at the end of the day, if it wasn't exposed to the whole community, who knows if he would still be able to practice, right? Who knows if this whole situation played out the way it played out. So number one, whether you're part of a team, whether you're part of a unit, whether you're part of anything that matters, you always want to keep things in-house if possible, because if not, once it gets leaked to the media, it's a bigger problem. Once it gets leaked to all these different people that really have nothing to do with it, now the opinions come in. Now the political pressure comes in. Now people are getting suspended. Now people are not being able to play for the season. Now all these different things, because you got to understand, he's not just a basketball player, but he also has this skin color. So they're always looking to make an example out of you, especially when you do things that are aggressive, especially when you're outside of the box and you're not being a good old boy like they recommend you to be, right? What do you think about that, bro?
Yeah, I mean, you definitely got to take, that's something, I don't want to get too deep into it, but, Draymond's dark-skinned, Jordan Poole's light-skinned, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, the dark skinned guy was the aggressor, you know. So, but again, it really just when I look at it, you know, depending on how you were raised and where you come from, you know, it was a physical altercation. So some people are taught, you know what I'm saying, once it gets physical, someone puts their hands on you, it's time to respond to, you know what I'm saying, the aggression or, you know, being touched. Another thing you got to look at is, like I said, what led up to that. You know what I'm saying? Did the coaches, you know, get involved in that? Did they, you know, say anything about any of the issues? You being a vet on a team like that and you got a new guy coming in, you know, talking to you, you know, sometimes people feel like they need to set a certain precedent. People forget this, but respect is very important. You know what I'm saying? If people don't respect you, you know, that sometimes can lead to other problems or other issues. So when you have a certain level of respect, then people know what the boundaries are, what the limitations are on what you will tolerate and what you won't. So it could have been something like that. You know, he wanted to let his teammates let people know that, hey, I will be respected. You know what I'm saying? Draymond's a very physical, you know, dominant basketball player. So very people like that, like I said, they are going to be a little bit more aggressive. Like I said, in the league, he's like, I think in the top 10 most aggressive players. You know, he fouls people, he's kicked people in the nuts. He's got it.
Yeah, he played dirty ball.
Right. I mean, trash talks. But again, that's part of the game. You know, not everybody uses those tactics, but, you know, it's mental warfare. You know, if you can, you know, trash talk, if you can get inside of a person's mind and get inside their head, you can throw them off their games. The key is, like I said, you always want to stay in a good headspace, keep your mind open, sharp, so it's not flooded by all these things, because then you feel like you have limited options. But when you can think clearly, then you're able to see all the options in front of you and make better choices.
That's facts, man. And, you know, you can't do anything unless you have a clear mind and a sound mind. Once those emotions start to leak in, you're really not in control like you want to be in control. And the proof is in the pudding. You know you can't get nothing done being emotional upstairs, or you wouldn't have a multi-million-dollar basketball player risking it all, sucker punching his teammate in the middle of practice, right? For that to happen, he had to be seeing red or outside of his body so much to where he just said, F it, right? Even this, he wasn't even thinking about F it. He wasn't thinking at all. He had enough, right? So all he was thinking about was, I had enough, and the emotion of anger, stress, rage, or whatever. But the logical thoughts that will come after, I had enough, but I got a family to feed. I had enough, but I enjoy getting paid to play this game at the highest level. I had enough, but I enjoy buying Porsches and all different kind of McLarens and anything I want, anytime I want, because I'm at the highest level and I'm getting paid to do what I do. But when you're not thinking about protecting that, it really doesn't matter how high you make it if somebody's going to trick you out of your position. Now, a lot of people may have felt like Jordan Poole was weak for not necessarily swinging back and getting him back and hitting him with one the same way he got hit with one. But sometimes you got to think smarter, not harder. You know, do you think he was weak for that, or you think he played his cards the right way that he was supposed to? What do you think, D?
You know, I'm a little biased. I guess from an NBA standpoint, like I said, I haven't really seen, so I don't want to come. But I guess if it was me personally, I mean, basketball or not, I mean, if somebody puts their hands on me, then, like I said, I'm going to swing back.
The typical person would see Jordan Poole get punched like that, and they would think that he's weak or that he's feminine or that he doesn't know what he's doing as far as being a man. But in reality, he's not getting no pay cuts. He's not taking no losses as far as not being able to play at practice, not being able to show up for games, or possibly being suspended, right? Getting that checkbook hit, getting that bank account hit with them $100,000 fines, $300,000 fines because you've put your hands on somebody.
I think Jordan Poole, you know, he's going to get a lot of sympathy from the fans, you know, because of what happened. Like, you know, I think they definitely see him as the victim, you know, in this situation. So, again, I think it may help him in a way where now Draymond is looked at as the aggressor or as the villain or as the bad guy. Yeah. So, you know, that's going to affect him, obviously, you know, in some ways. But
same thing happened to Chris Rock, huh?
You're right. It's kind of like with the Will Smith Chris Rock situation. You know what I'm saying? Will Smith went and slapped the shit out of Chris Rock. But
dog slapped him.
Chris Rock, again, he didn't. He just said, wow. You know what I'm saying? And again, now all his shows are booked out. He you know, those type of things, like I said.
Smarter,
really,
not harder.
Has really been a benefit, you know, sent to him. Where with Will Smith, his image has been tarnished a little bit now. You know what I'm saying? he was crying, he was apologizing. You know, with stuff like that. I mean, you got to try to make it right, but it's going to be some hurdles or some things that you have to do in order to
get over that.
Yeah, get that name or that prestige back to where it was.
Yeah.
But one thing I would want to know from you guys is we talk about this about position.
Yeah.
What is Draymond's position on the team? Like, how much of a critical role does he play for the team? Yeah. Do the Warriors need Draymond Green?
Is he able to get away with stuff like that
right,
and still be a major asset for the team, or are they quick to forget everything that he's done?
Same thing with Jordan Poole. I'm curious. A lot of you basketball fanatics, I know you guys, you know, what you get in there with your Twitter thumb and stuff. You guys look at the stats. You guys watch the games. You love to compare. So what position does Jordan Poole play? Does he play a significant role? I know he's been, you know, coming up in the ranks. He's been, you know, playing better and really helping the team. So how significant is he to the team? You know what I'm saying? Should he stay there? Or how important is he? So like I said, please like, comment, subscribe. But tell us what you guys think. You know, are you team Draymond or team Jordan Poole? I personally would like to know.
Exactly. And we're looking forward to hearing, man, because there's more opinions out there and there's way more points of view than just ours at the Game for Dayz podcast. As always, we're going to keep you gamed up, we're going to keep you laced up, and we're going to keep you growing closer to the Most High. But if we're not open to learning, how can we sit up there and pretend like we just know it all when that's not really the fact? You know what I mean? So I can learn from anybody that's logical and that's down to earth like me. Because if I'm not looking to learn, how can I be in the best position to teach? How can I sit up there and keep you guys laced up the way that I really want to, right? At the end of the day, it's holding all of us back, including myself, right? So if I expect you guys to come here, learn as much as possible, and, you know, get laced up, get gamed up, how can I not expect for you guys to have information? You know, hence my guy D coming on the podcast and kicking his game. What you think, bro? You know, everybody got to be open to learn, right?
Yeah, I'm happy to be a part of the podcast, you know, share what I know, you know, and seeing, learn from you, learn from the audience. So, you know, like I said, we all learn from each other, you know, that's part of the game, you know what I'm saying? So the more game that you can spread, the more game that you can soak up, the better off you're going to be, you know.
You feel me?
This is not
the game of basketball. Like me, man.
This is the game of life. But, you know, we sit back, we talk about it, we analyze, and, you know what I'm saying, we improvise. So,
exactly.
You know, that's what it's all about.
So, let's get it. Let's go. Continue to tune in. Continue to like, share, subscribe. If you're struggling with anything and you have anybody trying to get under your skin, you have anybody trying to get you to snap, always remember, it's not worth it. You're getting your money. You're doing what you need to do in life. You're taking care of your family. Or even if you might be struggling and you might be on your way working your life to where you need to be, it's still not worth it. Because at the end of the day, you can't do anything and you can't get anywhere if you're shitting on your relationships and putting your hands on people that are on your team and you guys are playing the game at $1 million level, right? You can't keep chemistry with somebody that you just disrespected or put your hands on. So keep that in mind. Continue to tune into the Game for Dayz podcast. Stay laced up, stay gamed up, and we're going to keep this thing going, keep this thing growing, and we're going straight to the top. And we ain't going to stop after we get there. You feel me? Hop in that description box, check out that merch. If you see something you like, go ahead and buy it. Also, hop in that description box and follow that Instagram. And as always, if you like the direction that we're headed with this thing, which is straight to the top, then go ahead and hop in that description box and send a cash app if it's on your heart. Let's get it. Let's go. Dayz Fredo, checking out.